NASA resumed work on manned missions in April 1968, more than a year after the Apollo 1 fire.
NASA and Boeing, in an advisory role, helped us go through every system and make sure it was as reliable as it could possibly be done.
Things changed dramatically. With the new management, I had enormous confidence. People make a difference. Managers make a difference.
But Project Apollo now had just 14 months to fulfill the late President Kennedy's pledge to put men on the moon by the end of the decade. Nearly 50 years since the end of the space race, many have forgotten that the first manned mission to the moon was Apollo 8. NASA scheduled Apollo 8 to fly in early 1969. The original mission was to have 3 astronauts orbit the Earth for 10 days. It would be commanded by Frank Borman. But the mission changed. The Central Intelligence Agency told NASA that the Russians were about to go to the moon.
That was a forcing function, there's no question about it. I was told that we were going to try to do it in December because we wanted to beat the Russians. And I said, that's fine with me, let's do it.
George Miller sent out a letter to all of us contractor people that were involved in the Apollo program saying, what do you think about going to the moon with Apollo 8? Is it ready? Are we reliable enough to do it? And boy, I spent a lot of hard thinking about that issue. We got all my top guys together. We really worked hard on whether we were ready to go. Looked at all the data, decided, yes, we were ready to go.
The 6-day mission, with its crew of Borman, Jim Lovell, and Bill Anders, atop a Saturn V rocket, was scheduled to lift off just days before Christmas in 1968.
The mission was to circumnavigate the moon. In other words, go to the moon, go into orbit around the moon, and then fire the service module to come home. Pretty special mission. A lot of things had to work right. We, of course, held our breath. Here we were going a long way into space, so we had to make it right. And that's what that 2 years after the fire was all about.
I never really sat down and tried to calculate the odds of getting back. I know Bill Anders said he thought that maybe 30% chance we wouldn't get back. I don't know. I was convinced I was coming back or I wouldn't have gone.
Wernher von Braun's massive rocket, the most complex machine ever built, had never been launched with people on board.
Apollo 8 was a really bold decision on the part of NASA. The fundamental decision was made to send a human crew to the moon on the Saturn V.
No American or Russian had traveled further than 850 miles from the Earth. The crew of Apollo 8 would be attempting a journey of nearly 250,000 miles.